France is very famous for many things: escargot, cheese, wine, the Rilotian, but also because of Provence. Provence is this beautiful area with these absolutely gorgeous fields of lavender, and thanks to Empress 4, we can become photographers and take the most beautiful pictures in the area. I have played this game so I can find out if this is worth the amount of money that you have to pay to get your hands on it. So play we all. Walking in Provence brings us a considerably different experience that walking in Burano or walking in Burano roll and ride brought us. And that is a very, very good thing. Although I've already done the unboxing video, but let's go through the components very, very quickly. We get the rules, scoring sheet, some player aids, some templates, which I will explain later what they're all about, mission cards, and scenery cards. And then some meeples for each player. Okay, so components wise, nothing to scream at home about, but they do the trick. So what do we have to do with walking in Provence? Right, walking in Provence is going to make us become photographers. We're going to go through Provence and take photos, but not just any photo, of course not. Of course, we're going to have our cameras, please. But also, we're going to be super duper posh photographers, and we are going to have drones. We're going to fly over the fields, making and taking the most beautiful photographs ever being taken of the gorgeous lavender fields of the Provence countryside. Yes, of course I am saying all of this because I'm trying to tidy up these cards as I say something nice that will keep you amused while you watch this video. Shoot me. So, what do we have in here? We have different mission cards. Okay, so we have A, B, and C. With A and B are the photographs that we take with our camera, and C, the photographs that we take with the drone. On the other side, which is the side that will be available, we see a number of icons, and that is the photograph that we need to take. So for example, if with our camera we take a photograph that contains 5 different important vertical lavender fields, the first photographer to do it gets 7 points, the second gets 5 points, and the third gets 3 points. If 2 photographers manage to do the same photograph on the same round, both get the same number of points. So if 2 photographers do it for the first time, each one will take 7 points, so on and so forth. With the drone, exactly the same thing happens. If you have a photo with the drone of 4 lavender fields, a windmill, and a sunflower field, the first photographer will get 8 points, the second 6, and the next will get 4 points. And then we get these missions, which are like generic missions for the end of the round of the game, where you're going to be getting points for each sunflower field that you get on the table, or for each vertical lavender field, or for each wheat field, so on and so forth. So those are the missions. That is what we have to do. How, though? This is where the game becomes very, very good fun. We're going to have these cards, and these cards, well, these are the same card because they are at the beginning of the game. This is what we're going to be getting. But the cards have different components. So we get lavender fields that are going to be either vertical or horizontal. These meadows, wheat fields, and then we get some buildings with some shops, forests, sunflower fields. Where is the church? And windmills. Each player is going to have a hand of 2 cards. One of the cards in our hand is going to go to the player to our left in secret. So we're going to get a card that we did not expect. And out of those cards, we need to play one on the table. And the point is to place the card in a way that will help us take the photographs that will give us the points. The way to put the cards on the table, they have to be either adjacent or overlapping, and they can be vertical or horizontal. However, there are a few limitations, like for instance, let me take this card here with the church. You would not be able to overlap the church by half. It's simple as that. But also, because each player is going to have a photographer, which is the meeple, and a drone, you have to put the meeple and your drone on the cards. You cannot overlap the card if the drone or the meeple are already there. So you have to be very careful at the beginning of your round where you're going to be moving, if anywhere, your meeple or your drone. Once you've done all of that, if you think that you have a photograph on site, then you take this template for the photographer and this template for the drone and put it on top of your meeple or your drone. If the combination of any of the fields here coincides with the mission cards, you score the points. The same thing goes for the photographer. If the cards placed in here, that could be anywhere, they do match with what you're meant to have on your photograph, you score the photographer's points. That's it. However, this is where the game really shines, because it is an absolutely beautiful puzzle. The way that you're going to have to think about what card to give away, what card to use it, where to put it, which one of the missions you want to pursue, it's going to make a massive, massive difference. Because also, depending on how you put your cards, some points will be subtracted and you will need to think about whether it is worth sacrificing some points. For example, if you have a vertical and a horizontal lavender field which are adjacent, that's going to subtract point at the end of the game, because that ain't as pretty as having 3 lavender fields in vertical, one beside the other. And that is pretty much how the game plays. We absolutely loved it. Before we realized, we were thinking really hard where things were going to go and what strategy we wanted to pursue, whether we wanted to wait and see if we had a perfect card to go someplace else, one of us, my friend Jose, ended up with very widespread, whether Anya got a very concise little one, and maybe me had a very weird shape because I didn't know what I was doing and I just wanted to find out if something was going to happen or not. And we all ended fairly close, with Anya, who is by far the most competitive of the three of us, getting 71 points, me getting 63, and Jose 64. So all things considered, considering that it was the first time that we played the game, that was amazing. That was absolutely amazing. And we just loved it. Again, as it happens too often with Emperor's 4, reading the rules made the game look and feel a lot more complex than it actually is. But once we started playing, it just flew away. It was lovely to play, lovely to see how this beautiful scene was unfolding in front of our very eyes, making something look absolutely super gorgeous. The frustration of having just the card right, but not at the right time, or going around thinking, damn it, I missed that photograph. It really suited us. Really suited us. It left us wanting more of this game, which for me, that is a triumph. When you play a game for the first time, with all the difficulties that that entails of having to read the rules, making mistakes, checking it out, not being sure. But if you end up the game and you think, I want to play this again, that's it. That's a good game. That's a triumph. That's a complete and massive triumph. So seriously, I think this is the best game in the Walking in series. We have Walking in Burano, Roll and Ride, and Walking in Provence. This is the one that's going to come on the table more often than not. Beware though, the risk of analysis paralysis with this is greater than with any of the two Walking in series. But for those of you who want a slightly more mental challenge and creating a jigsaw puzzle, seriously, I think this has the right combination and balance of difficulty, the frustration point of not being able to do what you really want to do and having to wait, and being a very, 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 very easy game to learn. This for me is a very, very solid 8, 8.5, and this will come out to my table very, very often. If you've played this game, I would love to hear what you have to say, so please let me know. And if you have any questions, also let me know. But in the meantime, thank you so much for being there. It is, as always, genuinely appreciated, and I will talk to you very, very soon. So play we all.